Hey guys, so tonight I will be installing the bed, the rest of the bed frame, and then the mattress. So, already got most of the pieces cut, and I bought the mattress. What I ended up going with is a 6-inch foam mattress. It's from the Foam Factory, which is local here to Metro Detroit. And I got the Lux HQ, which is their densest mattress foam material. So I'm anxious to see how that feels. I'm also getting ready to put the cabinet in up in the front or the shelf over the driver compartment. So I'm using the same material from the leftover from the bed for that. So that's kind of a two-part thing. I'm not sure I'll get to that in this video, but let's do the bed and see how it goes. You can see here how the foam was when I picked it up. I picked it up and ordered it same day. Just came rolled up like this. But you can also get it shipped to you, and they like shrink wrap it or whatever, and can mail these things. You can also see here I'm trimming it. I'll go into that with more detail. To get a custom cut one of this size was $255 from the Foam Factory. So the dimensions I need are 60 inches wide by 65 inches long, and the queen size mattress is 60 inches wide but 80 inches long, and was only 190, I think it was $193. So I figured for the $60 that I'd save, I could just try to cut this off, and sure, it wouldn't look perfect, but I mean, it's going to be up against the wall. It doesn't really matter. It's always going to have a sheet on it. So yeah, I definitely would recommend people to do that, because that was quite easy. I just used this hacksaw. This is just a Milwaukee M12 with a bimetal blade on it. This is like a 9-inch bimetal blade. You could use any Sawzall, I feel. Getting it started was a little hard, but once it was in there, I just let the weight of the saw just kind of fall through. And shoot, you watched how long that took me. It was sped up, but I mean, that was probably 4 minutes. Saved $60. Plus, then you have this piece of foam left over. This is 15 inches wide for me, 60 inches long, and I can use this for whatever. I haven't actually laid on this stuff yet, so I'm not sure how. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's a little hard. It's gonna be a little hard, but I like a harder mattress. Like I said, this is a Lux HQ. It's the most dense foam I could get. So I mean, most dense mattress foam, you can always get denser foam, but yeah, so let's continue on here. So what I did for the bed frame here is I made like a C-shape frame using 2x4s screwed directly into the frame structure of the van, and I did that when I did the wood paneling. And now I'm just going and putting longitudinal 2x4 supports, and I have them laying down, so the 4-inch side is laying on the original frame that I made, and then I just have 1/2-inch plywood on top of that. So in total, there's 3 longitudinal supports, and then it's all connected with the 1/2-inch plywood. This has been more than enough support. I see some people's van builds and they go pretty overkill, I feel, with the bed support, and this has been plenty. Alrighty, guys, here it is. Yeah, this is great. It's pretty hard, but I think it's perfect, really. It's closer to the ceiling than I was imagining. I mean, I could have calculated it and known exactly how close it'd be, but I didn't.
Yeah, so the reason why it's so high is we have now 36 inches underneath the bed. That's enough room to fit mountain bikes with just our front wheel disconnected. Let me see, I think I did 36 inches. Yeah, 36 inches. So that's why it's so high. It'd be nice if it was a little lower so you could sit on the bed, sit up straight on the bed. But there's the trade-offs. I wonder, without the 6 inches on top, because that makes this, let's see, 27 inches. That would give us 32 inches if that wasn't there. I don't know, definitely swallows up the space. It's a lot easier to get a perspective of how much room there is left in the van now. And the answer is not that much. Hey, so it's been exactly 1 year since I took that original footage that you just watched. Exactly to the day, I just realized, which is kind of cool. But one advantage of my procrastination with editing these videos is I can now give you an accurate review of this mattress and the bed and how it all works. I've been living now in the van for almost 2 months. Stayed in it countless weekends before that, so I've got a lot of time sleeping in this bed, a lot of nights in it. So kind of my feedback that I just touched on it with the initial evaluation of the mattress when I was first laying on it in that last clip that you saw. And my two complaints with it are the density. It's pretty hard, and the thickness, especially with the room from the height down to the mattress for sitting. So the density thing, when I first got it, it was really, quite dense, and it has kind of softened up over time. But initially, it was so hard that your arm would fall asleep when you were laying on it, sleeping on your side. I sleep on my side. And initially, I was like, oh no, and I tried to sell it and get a different one, but nobody wanted a cut up foam mattress. So I dealt with it, and I have dealt with it, and it's loosened up, and now it's much better than it was, but initially it was way too hard. So I think if you're gonna go with this super hard one, maybe do a thinner version and then do like 1 inch of like a memory foam or something, some other like softer foam on top. For me personally, if I build another van, or when I build another van, I think I'll probably go with 3 or 4 inch and go with the next density down. I have a friend that has a camper that he made custom mattresses in with the next density, like I think it's just Deluxe. This is Deluxe HQ or whatever, and it's still plenty firm. It's still like got a firm feel, but it's not like so firm that your arm is falling asleep. So that's kind of my only complaint with that. And the other thing is, like I said, go to a thinner mattress, and that'll free up some headspace, so you can sit on it. And I didn't really show in the last clip. I'll show here how high it is. Here, sorry for the lights glaring in your eyes. I got to turn my head. No way I could sit up on there. And for lounging in the evenings, I like to watch movies and stuff laying in bed, and it's just not quite as comfortable as I would like. So I think, a two-part thing, go with the thinner mattress. The other thing that I have thought of as kind of a new design is, I mentioned that this bed frame is less beefiest than some people's that I've seen on the internet. I still think it's too robust, and it doesn't need to be this much. So we have a piece of plywood on top of the shorter side of a 2x4. So we're talking 5/8 plus like 1.5 inches. So just over 2 inches of thickness there. And one idea I've thought of, and I've seen this in some other van builds, but I've thought about it quite a bit, is going with like an IKEA. I think just straight from IKEA, the wooden slats, like the arched, I don't know, you'd call it glulam or plywood or whatever. They got those arches that sit in like a channel. So I think what I would do is a piece of L channel, probably steel, and I would do one on each end, plus you'd have to do 2 back to back in the center, and then have the IKEA slats. And I think that would lower your thickness from being close to 2 inches or over 2 inches down to probably 3/4 of an inch. So then you'd be gaining, 3 inches from going to a thinner mattress, and then another 1.25 inches, maybe a little more than that. So you're talking 4 inches you're saving from height, which doesn't sound like much, but every inch kind of counts in this thing, in this van. And so that's my recommendation. The other thing that I didn't mention in the initial clips was the fact that this is only 60 inches wide, and most people are more than 5 feet tall. I'm 5'9", 5'10", so 69, 70 inches. And what do you do with that extra 10 inches of length? And what I do is I typically lay diagonal, or I'm laying with my legs curled if I'm completely horizontal, which is fine when you're by yourself, but it is like a queen width. So sleeping with a second person, it gets a little tight. You definitely have to be friendly with the person you're sleeping with, and I hope you're friendly with the person that you're in bed with. But you're gonna be cuddling essentially, for both of you to kind of be comfortable. It's not really a problem. It just takes a little bit to get used to. It's not like sleeping in an ordinary bed. So that's just kind of one drawback. But the way around that is I have 5/8 of an inch with the wood paneling, and then there's about 2 or 3 inches of insulation there. I'm trying to think. There's about 2 inches of insulation on both sides. So you can make little bump outs and get yourself another maybe 3 inches, maybe 4 inches if you tried, which would definitely help. You can also buy the flares, but I personally wouldn't be willing to spend the money to do that. I think this works just fine. Especially, like I said, I'm traveling by myself. I don't need this space. So it's fine. The other thing I mentioned originally was the 36 inches under the bed, and that has been more than sufficient, or not more than sufficient. It's been sufficient. My mountain bike fits under there, and I didn't really realize how much gear I would end up having on this trip, and I use most of that space under the bed. And I think it's really necessary to have that height. So one thing that I've done to make it a little better, excuse my bag of corn chips there, but I built this little step, which just stands off the floor about 7 inches, but that helps a lot to be able to stand up onto the bed. Especially like my mom is, I think, about 5'4", and for her to stand up on the bed is a little difficult. I kind of just hop up there, but that step provides a lot of help with that. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that pretty much covers everything with the bed. Yeah, so thanks for watching. I'm sorry that I keep being really slow with posting videos, but I really am not motivated to edit the videos. That's the only holdup. I have all the footage and everything. It's all sorted. I just got to put it all together. So I'm doing it. I guess once a month kind of is what's been happening. But I'll try to keep posting them. I've been getting a lot of support from everybody, so thanks for that. The other thing is, I mentioned in my last video, I am doing email blasts of my trip. Like I said, it's been about 2 months now that I've been traveling, so if you're interested in my adventures and want to hear more, follow along. Typically I send every other week or something. I've been sending an email kind of summarizing and sharing the adventures. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.